They better not screw up Modern Warfare 2. I have a lot of anticipation for this game coming out, but I'm not trying to get my hopes too high. One, because we don't have any official information yet. We've only been told that the game's going to be coming out later this year, and we're getting a brand new Warzone experience. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong here, but there's no way Infinity Ward makes the same mistakes they made in Modern Warfare 2019 twice, right? You would think common sense would clue in and the developers would go, hey, this didn't work in our last title, so let's not do it again. With how Vanguard played out, it didn't seem like there was a whole lot of common sense that went into that game. But looking at Modern Warfare 2019 and going back and playing it over the past couple of days, I really think Modern Warfare 2 has a lot of potential as long as the developers and the teams making the game capitalize on good choices and improving what hasn't worked in the past. Even looking at Modern Warfare, you can see how many good things are there, even though they're buried under the camp fest that multiplayer is. All you have to do is filter out all the stuff that didn't work and improve upon even further the stuff that did work. It's common sense. It's something that I don't think they teach at game dev school, but who knows? The biggest issue that Modern Warfare 2019 had is the camping. There's no way to avoid it. I've played Modern Warfare 2019 for 3 years now, and every single time I go back to the game, there is always people camping in the weirdest places that you would never expect players to be, especially after playing faster paced multiplayers like Vanguard and Cold War. It really puts into perspective how much they really missed the target with this one. And the thing is a lot of people still really enjoyed Modern Warfare, but imagine how good the game would have been if it was faster paced. Literally just changing the pace of the game makes Modern Warfare 2019 a much better game. Doing that alone would have elevated Modern Warfare 2019 to be such a better game than it actually was, to the point where I think it could be one of the best games in franchise history, competing with Black Ops 2 and MW2. Well, okay, old school MW2, not the MW2 coming out this year. That's gonna get confusing in the next couple months here as we talk about Modern Warfare 2, but it could be up there with one of the best CODs of all time, and that's what I'm hoping this year's Modern Warfare 2 is going to do. They already have the perfect recipe to make an amazing game. Modern Warfare had the best gun mechanics and one of the best engines we've seen in terms of graphics and movement. So you already have some of the best stuff in franchise history. All they have to do from here, is, since they have their work cut out for them, is just have a fast-paced, fun multiplayer experience with a large variety of maps, a large variety of game modes, a great camo grind similar to Damascus with another Obsidian-like camo grind, hopefully releasing with the launch of the game rather than halfway through the game's life cycle. And on top of that, we're getting a brand new Warzone with devs already having 3 years of experience with Warzone, knowing what players like and don't like and what works and what doesn't work. So it's extremely difficult to see how the developers could mess up Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 that bad. We'll have to come back to this conversation in 8 months once the game releases, and once we've played it for a bit, we'll actually see if they improved upon what Modern Warfare 2019 did or not. And I think regardless of how good the game is in terms of playability, the community is going to rally around this one. Not only is Modern Warfare 2 a huge name in the Call of Duty franchise and community already because of the OG MW2, but Warzone is probably the biggest and most talked about thing in COD history, and we're getting something brand new. Speaking of brand new, in 2 days, there's a new Gamersubs flavor, Peach Tea, that is coming out. You guys already know what to do. Use code WILD, and then the SBMM gods will give you bot lobbies. One thing I'm really looking forward to with Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 is a clean slate. I'm pretty sure this has been confirmed already through Twitter or through some sort of blog post. There's going to be no carryover from Modern Warfare, Cold War, Vanguard, and the original Warzone into these next titles, which means it's a clean slate for everyone. In Warzone 2, you're not going to be able to use the Krig or the PPSH or any guns from the previous titles. It's going to be a clean slate. And that sounds amazing to me because as fun as it is to use Vanguard and Modern Warfare weapons at the same time, it does tend to get very cluttered and sometimes confusing for a lot of players. So it's going to be nice to have everything simple once again. I'm sure the next Call of Duty titles after Modern Warfare 2 in 2024 and 2025, those will eventually get integrated into this new Warzone experience, but we'll have 2 years, or I guess a year and a half of a simple and hopefully fun experience. I think I can speak for a lot of us when I say it metaphorically feels like we're choking with the amount of Call of Duty content that we're juggling with right now. I'm really hoping Modern Warfare 2 is that breath of fresh air that we all need. I'm also really excited for the Damascus 2 grind. I'm just gonna call it Damascus 2 for the sake of it being the sequel of Modern Warfare 2019. Thinking back to when Damascus was first introduced and how radical the camo challenges were compared to Dark Matter, it kind of put a lot of people on their toes, and the challenges haven't really advanced too far in Cold War or Vanguard. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the sequel changes the camo challenges and the camo grind. As backwards as this is to say, I'm also excited for there to be only one mastery camo. So when we're all playing Warzone 2 for the first time, there's only gonna be Damascus 2. There's gonna be no two versions of Dark Aether, no DM Ultra, no Atomic. Just one mastery camo from one game. And one thing I'm slowly realizing more and more throughout this commentary is how much I'm craving a fresh experience that isn't connected to the cluster that we know Call of Duty is right now. And on top of that breath of fresh air, imagine if the game's incredibly fun to play. And I know we can only dream, but a classic prestige mode, lots of emblems and calling cards to unlock, and hey, maybe a 100%er challenge. That would be crazy. The last hot take before I wrap up the video, I'm starting to wonder if the reason a lot of people hate Call of Duty isn't because of how good or bad individual games are, but more along the lines of everything slowly getting entangled into one congealed mess. Also, it has been confirmed the ACR and Intervention are going to be in Modern Warfare 2 this year.